was God flipping that paradigm of what we're thinking, what we're used to, what our preconceptions are about this process. And she just really was the one that taught me by doing. Said, hey, take me on a date, encourage this sister, encourage that sister, and taught me by doing how to, help the heart and how to be vulnerable myself on a date. And that this is what I'm learning, this is what I'm reading, these are some questions I might have, this is how my quiet time's going, these are some things that inspire me about Jesus. This is and so that having that, if you're taught me to have that, that's the focus you want to have is how do I connect with my brother's or sister's heart on this date. And we're trying to get to heaven together, we're trying to build deep relationships and trying to really foster communication and unity, togetherness that is substantial, that means something, that crosses over those lines, those boundaries of white, black, have kids, don't have kids, economic, economic barriers.
Absolutely.
And it just once that group of mature sisters helped me kind of to break down all this faulty thinking and fear and insecurity that I had.
But I think that the one thing that I think about, it's like me getting married should just be, or dating should just be a fruit of my walk with God. It should be walking closely with God, and that just ends up being something that God gives me, that God blesses me with, it shouldn't be something that I'm entitled to or I should expect to have. Because for a while, I guess I saw, I felt like, I was like, God, what's going on? How come, all my best friends are starting to date, and I'm like, I just, and then I realized, like,
do you feel like you need to conform?
I think that at that moment I felt like that,
and that's a very stronghold where you feel like, especially when your friends start getting married, you feel like I should be doing this, right? I should be conforming in some kind of way, but I'm not, and now I feel stigmatized.
Yeah, and I think that was something, but then I realized it's like, I thought I was somewhere where I thought I was in a place, I guess, where that was something that was, it's almost like a sense of entitlement. Like, I'm not entitled to that, I'm not entitled to.
Oh, so you were feeling like,
I'm not entitled to that, so it's one of those things where I now realize I'm like, this is not, it should not be like, okay, she would be good with him, she would be good, no, like, it's more than anything, it's like, this should be something that is just fruit of my walk with God. This is because I'm walking with God closely.
The scriptures say one thing, and then outside of the scriptures, when it comes to dating, everyone has a different opinion about it. And I think that our ministry just is full of opinions. Even the people who are wise, no matter who you are, everybody has an opinion about like what it means to like date.
Yeah, because dating is not biblical.
Yeah.
So before what, you would just exchange some farmland and some agricultural goods and stuff, and then exactly.
People
So
got married off at like a young age, but cultures have changed. What does this say? I think that it is wise to try to meet the needs, at the very least, if it is an opinion anyway, at least try to meet the needs based on maybe the culture that you're in, but the scriptures always have to be a foundation. Right. So if you're trying to get married, but you're not going, and hey, you know what? There's nothing actually wrong with wanting to get married. There is not. The issue is, what are your motives? Are you being selfish? It's kind of like what Charlie was saying. What are we really supposed to be doing? I think if you are so much of a desire to get what you want that you have no longer taken priority into obeying the scriptures or seeking advice, then you have a wrong foundation. You're already starting off on the wrong footing. Now, if you're the sort of person who is not really interested in getting married, you're not really interested in having a girlfriend per se, you just enjoy the fellowship, but you're so hung up on that ideal that you don't listen to advice and you're not really taking the scriptures into account, guess what? You're on the wrong footing too. You know, you need to be obedient to the scriptures.
Right.
You know, and at the same time, you need to put it into practice. You know, I think what is the point of like having all these opinions, all the opinions of the world about should and should nots, you know, if you're not really practicing what the Bible actually says. And the Bible does say, encourage one another. It says, you know, he would rather that people just never got married. Well, guess what? That's an opinion.
Yeah.
Paul had opinions.